All right, time to unlock some serious life hacking wisdom, I think. Ready for a deep dive into Jim Rohn,
I'm ready.
master of personal development. We've got his YouTube video, 10 Things You Must Work On Every Day,
Oh, yeah.
loaded up and ready to go
That's a good one.
to dissect it.
Yeah.
We're talking about the daily practices that lead to long-term success, the stuff most people wish they were doing,
Yeah.
but haven't quite cracked the code on.
Right.
So consider this your cheat sheet.
Absolutely.
We're extracting the gold from this video
Yeah.
so you can walk away with actionable insights, not just feel-good vibes.
Right.
And trust me, there are some fascinating connections in here.
Yeah.
Like, did you know a positive attitude isn't just about feeling good?
Mm-hmm.
It actually attracts opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
We'll dig into the why behind that.
It's true.
We're also diving into the power of tiny habits.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, massive overnight change rarely sticks.
Right.
And we'll tackle why learning should never stop.
Oh, that's a good one.
Even if your school days are long gone.
So important.
Because who wants to be left behind in this crazy, fast-paced world? Not you.
Not me.
All right, let's jump right in. I was really struck by how Rohn kicks things off
Yeah.
with this analogy of a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
He says each day is like a fresh canvas,
Yeah.
and your choices are the brushstrokes.
Yeah. It's a great way to visualize it.
Yeah.
He's saying success isn't about making some grand, sweeping gesture.
Right.
It's about the small, consistent improvements that eventually create a masterpiece.
Kind of takes the pressure off, right?
For sure.
It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up each day and making those little brushstrokes that
Yeah.
add up over time.
And that leads perfectly into the first discipline he tackles, attitude.
Okay.
He's not just talking about putting on a happy face.
Mm-hmm.
He sees attitude as your actual lens for viewing the world.
So it's not just a feeling,
I
it's a
know.
way of thinking.
Yeah.
Right. And here's where it gets interesting. Ron argues that a positive attitude actually attracts opportunities,
Yeah.
like a magnet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, what's the science behind this?
It's not magic,
Okay.
though it can feel that way. A positive attitude influences our actions,
Right.
the people we attract,
Mm-hmm.
and even how we interpret events.
Okay.
For example,
Yeah.
think about someone who sees a setback as a learning opportunity
Okay.
versus someone who sees it as proof they're a failure.
Right.
Same situation,
Yeah.
totally different lens.
Oh, I totally know those types.
Yeah.
The chronic complainers
Mm-hmm.
versus the glass is half full folks.
Right.
But I'm still trying to wrap my head around the opportunity magnet thing.
Yeah.
Why would people with a good attitude get more breaks?
Ron actually shares an anecdote in the video about this.
Okay.
He talks about a perpetually negative person versus a positive one.
Okay.
The negative person constantly complains and focuses on problems,
Oh,
while
right.
the positive person is solution-oriented and open to possibilities.
I can already guess who ends up getting further in life.
Right.
But I'm also thinking, isn't there a danger of being too positive?
Mm-hmm.
Like ignoring red flags or being naive?
Yeah, that's where balance comes in.
Okay.
It's not about being delusional.
Right.
It's about choosing to focus on the potential good in every situation.
Yeah.
A positive attitude fuels action,
Mm-hmm.
creativity,
Okay.
and resilience.
Okay.
It makes you more likely to take risks,
Mm.
try new things,
Yeah.
and bounce back from setbacks.
So it's not about ignoring problems.
Right.
It's about approaching them with a mindset that's more likely to lead to solutions.
Exactly.
Makes sense. All right, let's move on to the second discipline. Communication.
Okay.
And this is where I had my first wait, what
Yeah.
moment in the video.
Okay.
Ron says communication is more about listening than talking.
Which is so counterintuitive. All
That's
right.
exactly.
We usually think about being eloquent speakers
Right.
when we imagine someone who's great at communicating.
But Ron flicks the script and says the real key is being an exceptional listener.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all ears on this one. Why is that so important?
Think about the times you felt truly heard and understood by someone.
Yeah.
How did that impact the conversation,
Yeah.
the relationship?
Well, it definitely builds trust,
Yeah.
and it probably helps you avoid those frustrating misunderstandings
Mm-hmm.
that can happen when people are just talking past each other.
Exactly. And that's where empathy comes in.
Okay.
Ron sees empathy as a cornerstone of good communication.
Right.
Without it, we risk misinterpretations, breakdowns in trust,
Yeah.
and ultimately damage relationships.
You know, now that you mention it, I can think of countless times where a conversation went south
Oh, yeah,
because of poor listening
for sure.
on someone's part.
Yeah.
And it always ends up causing so much unnecessary drama.
We've all been there.
Right.
Which brings us to the third discipline, self-discipline. This is where Ron really hammers home the idea of bridging the gap between your dreams and actually making them happen.
He tells a really compelling story about this talented young man
Yeah.
who never reached his full potential
Right.
because he lacked self-discipline. Makes you wonder how many brilliant ideas never see the light of day because people struggle with this.
No.
Right.
And I think that's why this discipline is often so misunderstood.
Yeah.
We picture self-discipline as this iron will,
Yeah.
this ability to power through anything. But Ron actually connects it to something much more attainable, habits.
So it's not about white-knuckling your way through every challenge.
Right.
It's about creating systems that make success almost automatic.
Exactly. He suggests that by building the right habits, discipline becomes almost effortless.
Go.
It's like setting your success on autopilot.
All right, that sounds way more appealing than constant willpower battles.
Yeah.
But building new habits isn't always easy. Where do we even start?
Ron's advice is to start small.
Okay.
Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight.
Right.
Instead, pick one tiny habit you want to develop and commit to it for a week. Could be something as simple as waking up 15 minutes earlier, reading for 30 minutes before bed, or going for a walk every day.
That actually feels doable.
Right.
It's not about being superhuman. It's about making those small, consistent choices that compound over time.
And those small wins build momentum,
Yeah.
making it easier to tackle bigger challenges down the road.
Okay, I'm ready to move on to discipline number 4.
Okay.
This one hit close to home for me. Limiting beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
Ron says we're often held back not by reality,
Right.
but by the beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world.
He has this great example of a man stuck in negativity
Okay.
who completely transformed his life by shifting his mindset.
Wow.
It's a powerful reminder that we are often our own worst enemies.
I can totally relate to that. I know I've let self-doubt hold me back in the past,
Yeah.
but how do we even identify these limiting beliefs? They can be so sneaky and ingrained.
That's where self-awareness comes in.
Okay.
Ron suggests paying attention to your self-talk.
Yeah.
What are those negative thoughts that automatically pop into your head when you face a challenge?
Right.
Write them down
Okay.
and examine them.
Okay.
Where did those beliefs come from?
Yeah.
Are they actually true?
And then what? How do we actually challenge those beliefs once we've identified them?
Ron's advice is to replace negative self-talk
Okay.
with empowering affirmations.
Right.
It's about consciously choosing to focus on positive, affirming statements
Okay.
that counteract those limiting beliefs.
So instead of saying, I'm not good at this,
Right.
you might say, I'm capable of learning and growing.
Exactly.
Or I'm willing to try.
It's like retraining your brain to believe in yourself and your potential.
I love that.
Oh.
All right, ready for the next discipline. Bring it on.
This one's something we could all probably use a little help with. Time management.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how some people seem to get so much done in the same 24 hours we all have.
I know.
What's their secret weapon?
Ron is really good at distinguishing between being busy
Okay.
and being productive.
Right.
We can get caught up in this whirlwind of activity, checking things off our to-do list,
Yeah.
without actually moving the needle on what truly matters.
So it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter, right?
Sure.
But how do we actually do that? What strategies does he recommend?
He emphasizes setting clear priorities, eliminating distractions, and even scheduling breaks.
Okay.
It's about being intentional with your time and energy,
Yeah.
making sure you're focusing on the tasks that truly align with your goals.
I often find myself getting sucked into things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, how many hours have I wasted scrolling through social media? We've all been there. Ron's advice is to become more mindful of how we spend our time.
Okay.
Track your activities for a week and see where those precious hours are actually going.
Okay.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Ooh, that's a challenge I'm willing to take. Okay, let's move on to discipline number 6. Knowledge.
Okay.
In a world that's changing faster than ever,
Right.
Ron is adamant that continuous learning is essential.
He has this brilliant quote.
Yeah.
Formal education makes you a living. Self-education makes you a fortune.
It's like he's giving us permission to be lifelong students.
Yeah.
Constantly evolving and expanding our knowledge base. But with so much information out there, where do we even begin?
He encourages us to read, listen, and study every day, committing to learning something new, even if it's just for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be a huge undertaking, just a small investment in your personal growth.
And luckily, we live in a time where access to information is easier than ever.
That's true.
We have books, podcasts, online courses, documentaries, you name it. What's one skill you've been wanting to learn?
There's always something new on my list.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is to cultivate that thirst for knowledge and make learning a regular part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth.
Makes sense. All right, let's move on to discipline number 7, finances.
Right.
I think a lot of people tune out when they hear the word finances, but Rohn has a way of making it relatable.
Yeah.
He says, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep.
Which is such a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
So many people struggle financially, not because of their income, but because of their spending habits.
He emphasizes the importance of developing sound financial habits, like budgeting, saving, and investing wisely. He's all about taking control of your money instead of letting it control you.
And he provides such a simple, actionable takeaway.
Yeah. What's that?
Track your expenses for a week.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing how much awareness that one simple action can bring.
Right.
You might be surprised where your money is really going.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of mindlessly swiping my credit card sometimes.
Yeah.
I got a little financial self-reflection.
Yeah.
Is in order. Okay. Ready for discipline number 8?
Yes.
This one's all about personal development.
Okay.
Which can feel like a big amorphous topic.
Rohn simplifies it beautifully.
Yeah.
He sees personal development as this ongoing journey of becoming a better version of yourself, both personally and professionally.
And he stresses that it's a lifelong journey focused on progress, not perfection.
Right.
I like that it takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
But where do we even begin? What does personal development actually look like?
Rohn highlights the importance of aligning your goals with your values.
Okay.
He's saying it's not just about achieving more.
Right.
It's about becoming more aligned with who you truly are.
So if your values are about creativity and helping others, your goals should reflect that.
Exactly.
Rather than just chasing, say, a bigger paycheck.
And he encourages us to explore various aspects of personal development. Self-awareness, emotional intelligence, skill building. It's about becoming a more well-rounded, capable, and authentic version of yourself.
I like the way he frames it. Okay, let's move on to discipline number 9, which is all about purpose.
Okay.
This is something I think a lot of people struggle with.
Rohn tells a story in the video about a man who achieved great success, but felt deeply unhappy.
Wow.
Because he lacked purpose.
Oh.
It's a reminder that success without meaning can be a hollow victory.
It's like climbing the ladder, only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall.
Exactly.
But how do we even begin to clarify our purpose? It can feel like such a big, almost mystical concept.
It's definitely a journey of self-discovery. Rohn encourages us to reflect on our values, passions, and talents. What are we naturally drawn to? What makes us feel alive and excited?
So it's about paying attention to those inner nudges, those things that spark our interest and light us up.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
Try different things.
Yeah.
Explore new avenues and see what resonates with you.
Yeah.
Remember, your purpose can evolve over time. It's not a fixed destination, but an ongoing journey of growth and discovery.
I love that. It's about constantly checking in with yourself and making sure you're on a path that feels aligned with your heart and your values.
Exactly.
Okay, ready for the final discipline?
Yes, let's do it.
This one's all about gratitude. Rohn actually calls gratitude a superpower.
He does.
He's a big believer in the idea that focusing on what you have attracts more good things into your life.
It's like shifting your perspective from scarcity to abundance.
Right.
When we cultivate a grateful heart, we start to see all the good that already surrounds us. It's a much more empowering way to live.
I know, and I'm feeling down.
Yeah.
Focusing on what I'm grateful for can totally shift my mood.
For sure.
But how do we make gratitude a more consistent practice?
Rohn suggests making it a daily habit.
Okay.
Keep a gratitude journal, write thank you notes,
Okay.
or simply take a few moments each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for.
Right.
Even something as simple as writing down 3 things you're thankful for
Yeah.
before you go to bed can make a big difference.
I love that idea. It's like a mental detox.
Yeah.
Cleansing our minds of negativity and replacing it with appreciation.
Exactly. And remember, gratitude is contagious.
Oh, yeah.
When we express our gratitude to others,
right,
it creates a ripple effect of positivity.
I love that.
It brightens someone else's day.
Yeah.
And reinforces our own sense of thankfulness.
Okay, so we've now explored all 10 of Jim Rohn's daily disciplines for success.
Wow.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's so much valuable wisdom here.
Absolutely. Each of these disciplines is a powerful tool for self-improvement.
Yeah.
And when combined, they create a roadmap for a truly fulfilling and successful life.
But I have a feeling we're just getting started.
Oh, for sure.
There's so much more to unpack here. Welcome back. We're picking up our deep dive into Jim Rohn's 10 daily disciplines for success.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground already.
Right.
From the power of attitude to those sneaky limiting beliefs we all deal with.
Yeah, but there's so much more to uncover.
Absolutely.
As we go deeper into these disciplines, you'll start to see how they all connect.
It's true.
Like we build on each other, creating this upward spiral of positive change.
Yeah.
Love that image. All right, let's revisit that first discipline attitude. We talked about how a positive attitude can actually attract opportunities.
Uh-huh.
But I'm still kind of fascinated by that idea.
Yeah.
Is there any research to back that up?
Oh, absolutely. There's a growing body of research in positive psychology that shows a strong link between optimism and success.
Interesting.
Studies have found that people with a positive outlook tend to be more resilient, persistent, and creative. They're also better at problem solving and building relationships, all of which contribute to success in various areas of life.
So it's not just wishful thinking. There's actual science behind it. But I think for a lot of people, staying positive can be a real struggle, especially when life throws those inevitable curveballs.
Right.
Any practical tips for cultivating a more positive attitude?
One powerful technique is practicing gratitude.
Okay.
Taking time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small, can shift your focus away from negativity and create a more positive baseline mood.
I've definitely noticed that when I'm intentional about gratitude. I just feel lighter and more optimistic overall.
It's like a mental reset button. And another helpful technique is reframing negative thoughts.
Okay, how do you do that?
Instead of getting stuck in a spiral of negativity, challenge those thoughts and try to see the situation from a more positive or constructive perspective.
So if you're facing a setback at work, instead of thinking I'm a failure, you might ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Or what's one positive thing that came out of this situation?
Exactly. It's about shifting your perspective to focus on solutions and possibilities rather than dwelling on the negative.
All right, I'm feeling more optimistic already.
Good.
Let's move on to communication, the second discipline.
Okay.
We talked about how Rohn emphasizes listening over talking.
Right.
But I'm curious, how do we actually become better listeners?
It starts with being present.
Okay.
When someone is speaking, put away your phone, make eye contact, and truly focus on what they're saying. Resist the urge to interrupt or jump in with your own thoughts.
Oh, that's hard. I'm such a chronic interrupter. But I can see how that would make the other person feel heard and valued.
It's a game changer for relationships. And it's not just about being quiet. It's about actively engaging with the speaker.
Okay.
Ask clarifying questions. Summarize what you've heard to make sure you understand.
Okay.
And use nonverbal cues like nodding or tilting your head to show that you're paying attention.
So it's like you're becoming a mirror.
Yeah.
Reflecting back what the other person is saying.
Right.
And making sure they feel understood.
Exactly. And that deeper understanding creates a stronger connection and foundation for communication.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about self-discipline.
Okay.
The third discipline.
Right.
This is where things can get a little tricky for some of us. Rohn makes it clear that self-discipline is essential for achieving our goals.
Yeah.
But building that discipline can feel daunting.
He has this great analogy in the video. He compares self-discipline to a muscle that needs to be exercised and strengthened over time.
So just like we wouldn't expect to bench press 200 pounds on our first trip to the gym, we shouldn't expect to have superhuman self-discipline overnight.
Exactly. It's a gradual process that requires patience and persistence. And one of the best ways to build that muscle is through habit formation.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, the idea of setting your success on autopilot.
Right.
But how do we go from wishing we had better habits to actually creating them?
Start with one small habit you want to develop.
Okay.
And commit to it for at least 30 days.
Okay.
It could be something as simple as making your bed every morning, drinking a glass of water first thing upon waking, or going for a 15-minute walk each day.
Ron gave that great example of waking up 15 minutes earlier. Seems so small.
Yeah.
But he says those extra minutes can be used for reading, exercise, or simply having a quiet moment to yourself before the day starts. And over time, those small wins create momentum and make it easier to tackle bigger habits.
Exactly. And celebrate those small victories along the way. Acknowledge your progress and give yourself credit for sticking to your commitment. Positive reinforcement helps solidify those habits.
It's like those gold stars we got in elementary school.
Yeah.
But for grown-ups.
Right.
I like it.
I like that.
Okay, I'm ready to tackle discipline number 4.
All right.
Those pesky limiting beliefs that can hold us back.
Remember that story Ron tells about the man who was convinced he couldn't start his own business because he didn't have enough money?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he realizes that's just a limiting belief holding him back.
Right.
But those beliefs can be so ingrained, almost like an invisible fence we've built around ourselves.
Yeah.
How do we break free?
First, you have to identify those beliefs.
Okay.
Pay attention to your self-talk.
Right.
What are the negative thoughts that pop up when you think about pursuing a goal or trying something new?
Like, I'm not smart enough, or I'll never be able to afford that, or I'm too old to start over.
Exactly. Write those thoughts down and examine them.
Okay.
Where did those beliefs come from?
Yeah.
Are they based on actual evidence, or are they just stories you've been telling yourself?
Once you've identified them, how do you challenge those beliefs?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to recognize them,
Right.
but it's another thing to actually change them.
Ron suggests replacing negative self-talk with empowering affirmations.
Okay.
It's about consciously choosing to focus on positive, affirming statements that counteract those limiting beliefs.
So instead of saying, I'm not good at public speaking, you might say, I'm confident and capable of communicating my ideas effectively.
Exactly. It's about reframing your internal dialogue to support your goals and aspirations.
Okay.
And another powerful technique is visualization.
Okay.
Imagine yourself successfully achieving the goal that your limiting beliefs is holding you back from. Really feel the emotions associated with that success. So if you're afraid of failure, visualize yourself succeeding.
Right.
Really feel the emotions associated with that success.
Exactly. By repeatedly visualizing success, you start to weaken the hold that the limiting belief has over you, and you create a more positive and empowering self-image.
All right, I'm feeling motivated to bust through some mental barriers. Okay, let's talk time management, the 5th discipline.
Yeah.
We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but some people seem to squeeze so much more out of them.
I know.
What's their secret?
Ron was a master of time management, and he had some great insights on how to maximize productivity.
Yeah, he really emphasized the difference between being busy and being productive, which I think is key.
Yeah.
We can easily get caught in a whirlwind of activity without actually accomplishing anything meaningful.
That's why it's so important to plan your day effectively.
Okay.
Take a few minutes each morning to prioritize your tasks, set realistic goals, and schedule your time accordingly.
So it's not about creating this mile-long to-do list.
Right.
It's about identifying the tasks that will have the biggest impact.
Yes.
And making those a priority.
Exactly. And another important aspect of time management is learning to say no to things that drain your time and energy without contributing to your goals.
That's a tough one for a lot of people.
Oh, I know.
Myself included. We want to be helpful and accommodating.
Right.
But sometimes saying yes to everything just leads to overwhelm and burnout.
Ron's advice is to be selective about your commitments and to protect your time and energy like they're precious resources, because they are.
So it's about being mindful of where we're directing our energy and making sure it's aligned with our values and priorities.
Precisely. And another key aspect of time management is managing distractions.
Oh, those are the worst. I feel like I'm constantly battling distractions. My phone is like a black hole of time-sucking apps.
We live in a world of constant stimulation, which can be great for staying connected, but not so great for focus and productivity.
Right.
Ron's advice is to create distraction-free zones for work and focused tasks.
Okay.
Turn off notifications, put your phone on silent, and find a quiet space where you can concentrate without interruptions.
I'm definitely going to try that. I think my brain could use a little less digital noise.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to knowledge.
Okay.
The sixth discipline.
Right.
We talked about how Ron was a huge advocate for continuous learning.
Yes.
But with so much information out there, it
Yeah.
can be overwhelming to know where to start.
He believed that reading was one of the most important habits for success. He encouraged people to read a wide variety of books on different subjects, from history and philosophy to biographies and self-help.
So it's not just about reading for pleasure.
Right.
It's about actively seeking out knowledge that will help you grow and expand your horizons.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to revisit books you've read before. Ron believed that you get something different out of a book each time you read it, depending on where you are in your life and what challenges you're facing.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's like those books grow with you.
And beyond books, there are so many other ways to learn.
Right.
We have podcasts, online courses, documentaries, workshops. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Ron also emphasized the importance of learning from mentors and role models.
So finding people who are already successful in the areas you want to grow in and learning from their experiences.
Exactly. Whether it's a formal mentorship or simply observing and learning from someone you admire, having role models can provide invaluable guidance and inspiration.
All right, I'm feeling inspired to add some new books to my reading list. Let's move on to discipline number 7.
Okay.
Finances.
All right.
We talked about how Ron was a big believer in taking control of your money.
Yes.
But I think for a lot of people, personal finance can feel intimidating and overwhelming.
He had a knack for breaking down complex topics into simple, actionable steps.
Right.
He believed that financial freedom starts with developing sound financial habits.
He often said, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep.
Exactly. And one of the most important habits he advocated for was budgeting.
Okay.
He encouraged people to track their income and expenses so they could see where their money was going and identify areas where they could cut back.
He had this great tip about the envelope system.
Oh, yeah.
Dividing your cash into different envelopes for various expenses like groceries, transportation, entertainment, so on.
It's a simple but effective way to visually see how much money you have allocated for each category and prevent overspending.
And it helps you prioritize spending on the things that are most important to you.
Exactly. And beyond budgeting, Ron emphasized the importance of saving and investing wisely.
Right.
He believed that everyone, regardless of income level, should make saving a priority.
He had this saying, pay yourself first. He meant that you should automatically set aside a portion of your income for savings before you even start paying bills or spending on other things.
It's about making saving a non-negotiable part of your financial plan.
Okay, let's dive into discipline number 8.
Okay.
Personal development.
All right.
We talk about how Ron saw this as an ongoing journey of becoming a better version of yourself.
Right.
Both personally and professionally.
Yeah.
But with so many different aspects of personal development, where do we even begin?
One of the most important things he emphasized was self-awareness.
So getting to know yourself, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your values and beliefs.
Exactly. He believed that self-awareness is the foundation for growth. Once you understand yourself better, you can start identifying areas where you want to improve and set goals that align with your values and aspirations.
He also talked a lot about emotional intelligence.
Yes, he saw emotional intelligence as a key factor in success, both personally and professionally.
So being able to understand and manage your emotions, as well as empathize with others.
Exactly. He believed that people with high emotional intelligence are better at building relationships, resolving conflicts, and navigating challenging situations.
And emotional intelligence is something you can develop and improve over time.
Absolutely. There are lots of resources available, books, courses, workshops that can help you build your emotional intelligence skills.
Okay, let's talk about purpose.
Okay.
The 9th discipline.
Right.
We talked about how Ron believed that living with purpose was essential for a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
But finding that purpose can be a journey.
He encourages us to reflect on our values, passions, and talents.
Right.
What are we naturally drawn to? What makes us feel alive and excited?
It's about paying attention to those inner nudges, those things that spark our interest and light us up.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
Try different things.
Yeah.
Explore new avenues and see what resonates with you.
Yeah.
Your purpose may evolve over time.
Right. And it's not about finding some grand, overarching purpose for your entire life.
Right.
It's about finding meaning and purpose in the things you do every day.
Well said.
Okay, ready for the final discipline?
Yeah, let's do it.
This one's all about gratitude, which Ron called a superpower.
Yeah, I love that.
He was a big believer in the idea that focusing on what you have attracts more good things into your life.
It's about shifting your perspective from scarcity to abundance.
Right.
When we cultivate a grateful heart, we start to see all the good that already surrounds us.
Yeah.
It's a much more empowering way to live.
I know when I'm feeling down, focusing on what I'm grateful for can totally shift my mood.
For sure.
But how do we make gratitude a more consistent practice?
He suggests making it a daily habit. Keep a gratitude journal. Write thank you notes.
Okay.
Or simply take a few moments each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for. Even something as simple as writing down 3 things you're thankful for before you go to bed can make a big difference.
I love that idea. It's like a mental detox, cleansing our minds of negativity and replacing it with appreciation.
Exactly. And remember, gratitude is contagious. When we express our gratitude to others, it creates a ripple effect of positivity. It brightens someone else's day and reinforces our own sense of thankfulness.
Okay, so we've now revisited all 10 of Jim Rohn's daily disciplines.
We get it.
It's incredible how they all connect and build on each other, creating this powerful framework for personal growth and success.
Yeah, and we're not done yet.
Oh, that's right.
In part 3, we'll explore how you can start implementing these disciplines into your daily life, turning these insights into actionable steps.
All right, welcome back. Time for the final part of our Jim Rohn deep dive, 10 daily disciplines for success.
We've unpacked so much already.
I know.
So much wisdom.
But now it's time to put it all into action.
Yes, absolutely.
We've covered the what and the why, but now let's talk about the how.
Okay.
How do we actually make these disciplines a part of our daily lives?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Because let's be real, knowledge without action is just mental clutter.
Absolutely. Rohn was all about taking action. He believed that success is the result of consistent effort, of making those small daily choices that compound over time.
So it's not about making some drastic overnight transformation.
Right.
It's about those baby steps, those tiny tweaks to our routines that over time lead to massive change.
Precisely. It's like building a house, brick by brick.
I like that.
Each small action is a brick. And with consistent effort, you build a solid foundation for a fulfilling and successful life.
Okay, so where do we start? Which brick do we lay first?
Well, let's go back to that first discipline attitude. Remember how we talked about the power of positive self-talk?
Yeah, replace those negative thoughts with those empowering affirmations.
So here's an actionable step for you. Create a list of affirmations that resonate with you. Statements that inspire you, motivate you, and remind you of your strengths. Write them down on sticky notes and place them around your home or office.
I love that. I'm a very visual person, so having those positive reminders scattered around, and it definitely helped me stay focused.
Yeah, absolutely. You can also set reminders on your phone to pop up throughout the day with an encouraging affirmation.
Oh, I like that.
Or create a screensaver with your favorite affirmations.
Okay, I'm stealing that idea.
Good.
So, what about communication, the second discipline? How do we become better listeners, especially in a world where everyone seems to be vying for attention?
It takes practice, but it's a skill worth developing.
For sure.
One technique is called active listening. When someone is speaking, give them your undivided attention.
Okay.
Put away your phone, make eye contact, and resist the urge to interrupt or plan your response while they're talking.
So easy to get distracted these days.
I know.
But I can see how truly focusing on the speaker would make them feel heard and respected.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions. This shows that you're engaged and that you're genuinely trying to understand their perspective.
Rohn believed that seeking to understand is the foundation of effective communication.
Yes.
It's not about winning an argument or proving your point.
Right.
It's about connecting with the other person and building a bridge of understanding.
Well said. Now, let's move on to self-discipline, the third discipline.
Okay.
This is where things can get a little tough because, let's be honest, none of us are perfect.
True.
We all have those moments where we'd rather hit the snooze button than go for that morning run or scroll through social media instead of tackling that important task.
It happens to the best of us.
But remember Ron's analogy of self-discipline as a muscle. It's something we can strengthen over time with consistent effort.
Yeah, so just like we build physical strength through exercise, we build self-discipline through practice.
Exactly. And one of the best ways to practice self-discipline is through habit formation. Start with one small habit you want to develop and commit to it for at least 30 days.
Yeah, Ron had some great tips for building new habits.
Yeah.
He said to make the habit obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying.
Yeah.
So if you want to start exercising every morning,
Yeah.
lay out your workout clothes the night before, find a type of exercise you enjoy, start with a short workout, and reward yourself afterward with something you like.
Yeah, those small rewards can really help solidify those habits.
Right.
And don't be afraid to experiment until you find what works for you.
Okay, what about those pesky limiting beliefs? We talked about how they can hold us back from achieving our full potential. But how do we actually challenge and overcome them?
It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your self-talk. What are the negative thoughts that automatically pop into your head when you face a challenge or think about pursuing a goal?
The ones like, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to afford that.
Well,
I'm too old to start over.
Exactly. We all have those voices in our heads.
Right.
Once you've identified those limiting beliefs, write them down and examine them. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it based on actual evidence or is it just a story I'm telling myself?
And then replace those negative beliefs with empowering affirmations.
Yeah, it's about consciously choosing to focus on positive, affirming statements that counteract those limiting beliefs.
So instead of saying, I'm not good at public speaking, you might say, I'm confident and capable of communicating my ideas effectively.
Exactly. It's like rewiring your brain for success. And another powerful technique is visualization.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine yourself successfully achieving the goal that your limiting belief is holding you back from. Really feel the emotions associated with that success.
So if you're afraid of failing at a new business venture,
Yeah.
visualize yourself launching that business and thriving.
Yes.
Feel that excitement, the pride, the sense of accomplishment.
Exactly. By repeatedly visualizing success, you start to weaken the hold that the limiting belief has over you, and you create a more positive and empowering self-image.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired to bust through some mental barriers. Okay, let's talk time management, that fifth discipline that can feel like a constant struggle.
Yeah, time management is a big one for a lot of people.
It is. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but some people seem to manage those hours so much more effectively than others.
Yeah.
Ron was a master of time management, and he had some great insights.
Oh, he did.
He really emphasized the importance of planning your day. Take a few minutes each morning to prioritize your tasks, set realistic goals, and schedule your time accordingly.
Yeah, he also talked about the power of focus. He said that multitasking is a myth. Our brains are actually much more efficient when we focus on one task at a time.
So instead of trying to juggle multiple things at once,
Right.
break down your tasks into smaller chunks
Roll.
and give each task your full attention.
Exactly. And another key aspect of time management is learning to say no.
Oh, that's a hard one.
I know.
Things that don't align with your goals and priorities.
Right. We want to be helpful and accommodating. But sometimes saying yes to everything just leads to overwhelm and burnout.
Yeah.
Ron's advice was to be protective of your time and energy. Treat them like the valuable resources they are. And be willing to delegate tasks when possible. You don't have to do everything yourself. Identify tasks that can be delegated to others and free up your time and energy for the things that only you can do.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's move on to knowledge, the sixth discipline. We talked about how Ron was a huge advocate for continuous learning, but with so much information out there, it can feel overwhelming to know where to start.
He believed that reading was one of the most important habits for success. He encouraged people to read widely and to make reading a daily habit.
But carve out some time each day.
Yeah.
Even if it's just 15 or 20 minutes to read something that will expand your knowledge or inspire you.
And don't limit yourself to books.
Aye.
Listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, take online courses, attend workshops. There are so many ways to learn and grow. The key is to be curious and to make learning a lifelong pursuit.
The more you learn, the more valuable you become, both personally and professionally. All right, let's talk finances, the seventh discipline. Ron had a lot to say about money management, and his advice is just as relevant today as it was back then.
One of the most important habits he advocated for was budgeting.
Yeah, we talked earlier about his envelope system.
Yeah.
Dividing your cash into different envelopes for various expenses.
Right.
It's a simple but effective way to visually track your spending and stay within your budget.
And beyond budgeting, Ron stressed the importance of saving and investing wisely.
He often said, pay yourself first.
Yes.
Meaning automatically set aside a portion of your income for savings before you even think about spending.
Yeah.
And when it comes to investing, Ron emphasized the importance of educating yourself and seeking professional advice.
Absolutely. Taking control of your finances is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself.
Okay, let's dive into discipline number 8, personal development. This one can feel a bit overwhelming because it encompasses so many different areas.
Ron saw personal development as an ongoing journey of becoming a better version of yourself, both personally and professionally.
Right.
And he stressed that it's a process, not a destination.
So be patient with yourself. It's about making small, consistent improvements over time. And one of the key aspects of personal development is goal setting. Set goals that are meaningful to you, that align with your values and aspirations. And make sure those goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The good old SMART goals framework. And another important aspect of personal development is self-care. Take care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So prioritize things like exercise, healthy eating, getting enough sleep, managing stress, and nurturing your relationships. Personal development is about taking a holistic approach to your well-being. Okay, let's talk about purpose, the 9th discipline. We talked about how Rohn believed that living with purpose was essential for a fulfilling life, but finding your purpose can be a journey in itself.
It can. He encouraged people to reflect on their passions, their values, their unique talents and skills. What are you naturally drawn to? What makes you feel alive and excited? And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different things, explore new avenues, and see what resonates with you. Your purpose may evolve over time. And remember, it's not about finding some grand, overarching purpose for your entire life. It's about finding meaning and purpose in the things you do every day.
All right, and finally, let's talk about the 10th discipline, gratitude.
Yes.
Ron called gratitude a superpower, and I think he was onto something.
He was.
He believed that practicing gratitude can transform your life. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what you already have and creates a more positive and optimistic outlook. We talked earlier about keeping a gratitude journal or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for.
Another powerful practice is expressing your gratitude to others. Write thank you notes. Tell people how much you appreciate them. Perform acts of kindness. Gratitude is contagious. When you express it, you not only brighten someone else's day, but you also reinforce your own sense of thankfulness.
Well, we've come to the end of our deep dive into Jim Rohn's 10 daily disciplines for success.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. I feel like we've learned so much. But remember, the real work starts now.
Absolutely.
These disciplines are meant to be lived, not just pondered. So take what you've learned and start putting it into action. Choose one discipline to focus on this week and make a commitment to incorporate it into your daily routine.
Small, consistent actions repeated over time lead to extraordinary results. So start today. Make that commitment to yourself and watch your life transform.
That's it for this deep dive. We hope you found it valuable and inspiring. Remember, you have the power to create the life you want. Go out there and make it happen.